What's up, everybody? It's your man Pots and Pans. Welcome back to another episode of Flavor Combo of the Week. Got a lot of energy because you know what? One of my favorite things in the world is gonna happen. We're gonna make some mayonnaise. Okay, tomorrow, actually, we're gonna make mayonnaise. But I'm gonna talk about it today. And you know, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be like, listen, guy, all right, we know what mayonnaise is. Except I'm over here like, do ya? Do you really know? Half the people in the world have an iPhone. Do they know what's going on inside? You, everybody watching this right now in the comments, drop a little emoji of the guy or the girl with a hand up. How do you make a mayonnaise? Don't be a piece of shit. Don't Google it. Odds are you don't. Most people, when they're talking about mayonnaise, they don't see this. They don't see the homemade stuff. They know it for that disgusting nightmare albino goop that just looks like it looks like cum. Edible cum. Okay, all of it's technically edible, but we don't need to talk about your monthly subscription plan, okay? The show is becoming an absolute nightmare. Here's the point I really want to drive home. Mayonnaise is not inherently bad for you. If you swap out the shit processed oils and you use quality oils like a good avocado oil, good fats, you don't have anything to worry about. I wouldn't be injecting it like Lysol into your veins like apparently we're doing these days. So let's get into it now, like the actual ingredients, and let's talk about why they're important. Check these out. What is this? These beautiful little cheeked up yolks. That's what it is. We've already talked about eggs a little bit on the scrambled eggs episode. Okay, but I really want to dive into yolks today because if we're talking about emulsion sauces like this mayo, or we're talking about hollandaise, it's not just used as the base of the sauce, but it's also used as a stabilizer. And for other types of foods, there's many different uses that you can use a yolk for. You're simply just not gonna use an egg white for the same reason that you would use an egg yolk. When it comes to like dividing them up and using them for different reasons, they're bifurcated in their utility. If you're talking about like a flourless chocolate cake, guess what? It's flourless. So without that flour, you're missing a lot of the active ingredients that you would need to make a nice cake. You know, you're missing the proteins. So basically, they overload that bitch with these egg yolks. Not only does it make it super dense and rich and delicious, but those egg yolks are helping that cake rise. Very similar to when you're making a brioche, aside from the ton of butter that they're putting in those. Same thing if you're making, you know, a creme anglaise, a custard, and like I said, these egg yolk based sauces like a hollandaise and all of its derivatives, a mayo or an aioli is no different. It's not just the base of the sauce, it's an emulsifier. And usually, I don't think I have to say this if you're following, but maybe you're new to this channel, always use the best ingredients. I mean, look at how dense, brightly vibrant the color is. Look at how they sit high and tight. Kind of like a booty in orange yoga pants. Sign me up. What else do you want in life? Oh, maybe essential fats and choline and a lot of other things that are good for your brain and body. They got that too. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, maybe you're learning something, you know, maybe I made you giving you the ha-has. Maybe give this a like, drop your favorite part in a comment below. Also, you know, hit the subscribe and the bell notification so you know when these come out. And also, it helps my channel, so please and thank you. Back to the show. Here we go, Dijon Mustard. We've already talked about mustards a little bit. Well, we talked about like a German brown mustard. Here, we're looking at Dijon. Now, even though I did buy this like country style, you're still seeing those brown seeds, which are the seeds that are most commonly used to prepare it. But, you know, a lot of people are used to that Grey Poupon, all right? And that, yeah, it did come from Dijon. And yeah, if you're not picking it up, Dijon is a real place in France, in the Burgundy region. Technically, you know, if it's not made in Dijon, then it can't be called Dijon. But, you know, these days nobody gives a fuck about tradition, so I mean, what are you gonna do? Now, I'd say for like the majority of chefs across the board, you're gonna use Dijon, okay? You're gonna use it, let's talk about me, actually. I like to use it not only for this mayo recipe, but I like to put it in vinaigrettes, also a very common thing for chefs. Also like to, you know, everybody likes slathering it on a good hero. You know, ham and cheese, can't go wrong. Obviously, you know, you don't have to be a chef or watch this channel to know that, okay? But you could also finish it at the end of like a good beef bourguignon, okay? Just to add a little zest, a little tang, maybe a little spice. You don't even need it in mayos and vinaigrettes. But like I said, it's an emulsifier, okay? And it packs a ton of flavor, so there's really no downside. Unless, you know, you're walking like your pet turtle once, which we all do from time to time, and then it got off the leash, and then a massive train came by and murdered your turtle at the same time that you were biting into a hot dog, okay, you might have an excuse. But everybody else, use the damn mustard. If you look at Grey Poupon, I think off the top of my head they add in like a white wine, and then, you know, they're gonna add sugar. It's a mainstream thing, so they're gonna have stabilizers and stuff like that. But they have a very distinct taste, whether you get their country style or whether you get the one that's more pureed and smooth in color and texture. Even though Dijon mustard is probably France's most popular, I'd say no doubt actually, it doesn't mean that all French mustards are like this. It's just like a trademarked way of making it. But still, it's a phenomenal product that's trademarked by that like tangier, sweeter flavor. So moving on to our third and final ingredient, avocado oil. This is one of the best oils that you can use for salad dressings, cold prep, even heating. You know, it's got a high smoke point. Unless it's like, you know, refined and bullshit and they extract all of the polyphenols, all of the chlorophyll, the color, which also takes out a lot of those antioxidants. So it means it's going to become oxidized a lot easier, okay? Oils can be oxidized in many different ways. Mostly it's heat-based or light-based, and that's what you really want to avoid. Terrible for you, okay? It makes our arteries and our cells stiff. Even if you're, you know, a really good fat burner, it could take a long time for your body to get rid of crap oils like veggie oils, canola, you know, sunflower, safflower, corn. Terrible for you. And what happens is your body takes them and uses them as a part of your cell membrane, and that's why it takes so long. And it's a huge reason why it makes you and your mitochondria terribly slow, terribly retarded by every definition of the word, and quite possibly, depending on your other lifestyle factors, terribly inflamed. But a good oil, processed extremely well, taken care of extremely well, from the plant to the Whole Foods to your actual crib. You know, that's why it's in this tin can. You don't want to keep it in something like this because it can be oxidized by that light or oxygen, okay? We have this avocado oil. This is a refined version. Now, if you take this and look at it, there's a small, very small greenish tinge to it, but massively more refined than this one. Okay, and then in that process, you know, who knows what's going on with it. Sometimes refined oils, especially the veggie ones, they get used with like hexane, which is a solvent. They bleach it, you know, it's just, they're doing all kinds of shit to it. This stuff is far more better for you because it's less likely to be oxidized, and you know that by looking at it. So it's usually expeller pressed. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You want it to be, you know, a first run, cold pressed, again, avoiding those high temperatures. You obviously want to look for organic and non-GMO. As far as preparations, you know, why are we gonna use it in one of these sauces? Why are we gonna use it in, you know, salad dressings, vinaigrettes, that kind of thing? It's generally not as flavorful. It's a little more flavor neutral than an olive oil or something like that. A lot of chefs, you know, they might not even wanna use an oil with this color, but they're using that shit stuff. That's why, you know, getting stuff from a restaurant is not as healthy as you think. You go into Tender Greens, you're going to Sweet Green, oh, they have these amazing things. Cafe Gratitude, oh, it's vegan, it's organic. You're still getting shit oils because restaurants are a business. It's very expensive to produce this stuff outside of labor. Your food cost is number one. So they're cutting it down. Even if it's like they're using olive oils, usually it's cut down. 25-75, 50-50 with processed shit oils, okay? So it's not as healthy as you think. I would much rather use very healthy oil and you know, sacrifice the color. So be sure to look out for this recipe tomorrow. A mayo is a phenomenal sauce, super easy, but the emulsion takes technique. And not to mention so many sauces, you know, almost all salad dressings that aren't vinaigrettes, if they're creamy, they're made from a mayo, okay? And then what's a mayo? Essentially a cold version of a hollandaise, which we'll also cover eventually. But a mayo is just, my point, a phenomenal sauce technique for everyone to learn. Phenom. And it only takes a couple minutes to whip up. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate your help. Please subscribe. Do it, do it. Until next time, keep cooking up, all right? Love and peace. Manokis. Chef out.